Meadows of the righteous, 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 meadows of the righteous.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya'i wal Mursaleen amma ba'd fa'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim bismillahir rahmanir rahim as-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulullah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah as-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabiyallah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nurallah. Viewers of Madani Channel, welcome back to our lessons, Islamic lessons, the Meadows of the Righteous, where we have discussed various different topics throughout this blessed month. Today, inshallah, our topic is very interesting. Sometimes we overlook certain aspects of our life, especially when it comes to our spirituality. Sometimes in life we kind of we have a peak and trough kind of momentum, where sometimes we feel less spiritual, sometimes we gain more spirituality. In those moments of less spirituality, we fall towards committing a sin. In the times of peak spirituality, we abstain from sin, we do more good deeds. Blessed nights like the Nisfu Sha'ban, the 15th of Sha'ban, or the night of the 27th of Rajab, the night of Mawlidun Nabi, the birth of the Prophet ﷺ, we generally tend to get more spiritual. And then later on, a few days, weeks, we kind of move away from that spirituality and we end up becoming weaker. To sum all that up, Islamically, it's called istiqamah, having steadfastness, being moderate in our actions, and keeping the same pace throughout our spiritual life. I'm going to start with a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ, someone asked him, he said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that tell me such a statement that I won't get an answer from anyone else other than you. And you tell me something so valuable that only you, out of all people, are able to give me such advice. And the Prophet ﷺ, that advice that no one else can ever offer him, the Prophet ﷺ gave him this following advice. He said, قُلْ آمَنْتُ بِاللَّهِ ثُمَّ اسْتَقِمْ. That Prophet ﷺ said to him that you say that I believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ثُمَّ اسْتَقِمْ, and then stay steadfast upon that. It's a short piece of advice, but the depth of this advice is unbelievable. First of all, believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This also entails His qualities, His attributes, His decree, His plan, believing in everything that He has created, Jannat, Jahannam, the Day of Judgment, the Quran, the angels, the prophets that He has sent. Believing everything that His glorious Quran has said. So just by believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is the entire faith in itself. ثُمَّ اسْتَقِمْ, and then stay steadfast upon this. This is the tricky bit. Staying steadfast upon this belief system. This is the tricky bit, and this is what our topic is about today. Being steadfast in religion. Always being attentive and like having a moderate momentum in our practice. The best of any affair that you're going through in life, the best one is to take the middle path. The middle path is the best path, and that's what it is. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Ya Allah, keep us steadfast on the right path. So being in the middle path and the right path constantly. So if a person, for example, the horse is already riding in full speed, and a person tries to jump on, he will hurt and injure himself, and it will be painful. And getting back up after that fall is really difficult. But if a person mounts a stationary horse, a horse that is not moving, and slowly takes off, and gradually picks up speed, he is less likely to fall. He is less likely to fall. Likewise, in our worship, in any sort of duty and actions that we commit, that we do perform, we start off moderately. We start off with this sense of easiness, and then we gradually pick that up. So doing something that will get you this constant reward, rather than, for example, a person, he gives £1 in sadaqah every single day for every single past 10 years he's been given £1 in sadaqah. Now giving £1 in sadaqah is easy, it's very easy, and we should do that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prefers the regular actions which are constantly done. The regular actions, even if they are small, Allah prefers that action more because it is constant. He has istiqamah. It will be the case where one month or one certain time frame, the person given the £100, he will give up because this was a difficult task for him to do. It would be easier to give the £1, and that is more fruitful as well. So in our worships, we need to adopt this moderateness so that we do not fall off the running horse. And this has happened various times, many times. We read in the books where certain people have gone into the jungles to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and after going and leaving everything behind, their family, their friends, their investments, everything they had left behind, they've gone into the jungles just to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in solitude. But because they jumped on the running horse, they fell and they did not get back up. Many people have gone astray because of not being moderate in their worship. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes that person whose practices are constantly being done throughout his life, rather than the person who does one-off actions. One-off actions are good as well. However, the constant action is much more superior. So having this moderate mindset where you are worshipping constantly, you're not overburdening yourself, and you're in a constant form of worship, and it's in small but constant amounts. This is what Islam wants from a person, and this is what is healthy for the body, mind, and spirituality. Constant small gestures of spirituality. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes that person whose practices are constantly being done throughout his life, rather than the person who does one-off actions. One-off actions are good as well. However, the constant action is much more superior. So having this moderate mindset where you are worshipping constantly, you're not overburdening yourself, and you're in a constant form of worship, and it's in small but constant amounts. This is what Islam wants from a person, and this is what is healthy for the body, mind, and spirituality. Constant small gestures of spirituality. So a person, he should stick in this moderate path where he is worshipping in a good amount and then letting his body rest as well. This is a haqq of your body. Your body needs to rest as well. There's this formula where don't steal from yourself. And what does that mean? Don't steal from yourself. What does that mean? It's simply like, if a person knows he has a lot of energy right now, and he uses all that energy straight away, knowing that he has to do a very big job tomorrow, and he has no energy left for that, he is basically stealing energy from his tomorrow. Likewise, if a person for example, he's purchased something, a person's maybe bought a electric device, expensive one, and he's borrowed money from his friend to buy the electric device, as an example. What he has done is he's stole from his future self. So you do not want to be taking from your future self. Whatever's happening today will happen today and leave today as today. Don't borrow from tomorrow. Tomorrow's a separate day. So momentum and having istiqamah. I'll finish off with two more narrations. There was a saint and he had a student, and the student went to the saint and said, "O saint, O sheikh, there is this certain person, disciple. His spirituality is so good that he could levitate, he could like fly and hover, and this is what we call a karama in Islamic terms." And he says, look at him, he's performing such a big karamat that he could, hover and levitate. And the sheikh said that even a fly, a little house fly, can go fly in the air. And then he came back and he said to him that, what about this sheikh or this disciple? He could walk on water. And the sheikh said that even a frog can to some extent surface the water. Then he came back and said, what about this person? He could go travel in the ground. And he says even little insects, they could go into the ground. And then he explained to him, he said, son, don't seek karama, seek istiqama. This is more superior. Seek istiqama. That's a deep advice. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala gives us all steadfastness, and we should always seek dua from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to keep us steadfast, to keep us clenched onto His religion. Ameen bijahi nabiyil ameen. Sallu ala al-habib sallallahu ala Muhammad sallallahu.
Meadows of the righteous, 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 meadows of the righteous.